When you think about designing a well-coordinated retirement plan, you may be thinking about some of the largest expenses that may derail that well-coordinated retirement plan. A lot of those things could be home health care expense in late life, nursing home care, long-term care. You may be thinking about a big expense that could happen within the home, a family member that needs help. The list goes on, but today what I want to talk about are some of the little-known expenses that could really derail a well-coordinated retirement plan and how you can be prepared for them. Hey everybody, Chris Heerlein here of REAP Financial, host of Retire Ready TV and host of Wealth Radio every Saturday, 11 a.m. on News Radio KLBJ here in Austin. Thanks for tuning in to our YouTube channel. If you like what you're watching, hit the subscribe button down below. Now today what I want to do is dive into the top expenses that could derail your retirement. And these aren't just the classic common expenses that you read about in articles and other type of publications. The things I'm talking about today can add up over many years, and you really don't see them coming. The first one we're talking about today is transportation cost. Okay, when we think about transportation, there's two things. It's not only just your A to B in retirement, it can also be transportation cost when the day comes that you can't drive. Maybe that's due to your health, your eyesight, something to that effect, but you still need to get around. Do you have friends, family able to do that, or is that something that we need to put into your budget so that you ensure that you can have the care you need and still try to maintain your standard of living in late life? Now, also when you think about transportation, my gosh, have you shopped for a car lately? Likely you will need a new car several times throughout retirement. If you're thinking about a 10, 20, 30-year retirement career, that could be the case. Have you budgeted for those things? A lot of people pay cash for cars. Well, you've seen how cars have gone up exponentially. So if you're using $30,000 a year every 8 years for a new car, that's probably not realistic. You need to be thinking about your transportation cost as well as the fuel cost to drive those vehicles. We've seen a mass fluctuation in fuel cost over the last couple of years, but if you're like me, it's likely not going to go back down to where it was 10 years ago. It very well could, but I don't think that's a conservative way to be budgeting. So think about the overall transportation picture in your retirement plan. All right, number two, a big one, is home expenses. You may have your house paid off, but here in Central Texas, property tax rates are very high, and it could actually be the same cost as another mortgage. You guys know what I'm talking about here in Central Texas. But outside your property taxes, as your home ages, there are gonna be expenses. I cannot tell you how many times throughout the weeks, months, years, clients go, my gosh, I had to lay out another $10,000, another $17,000, another $6,000 because this fell off the house, or the water heater went out, or the air conditioner went out. It's always gonna be something. And so you need to have a contingency built in to, be able to keep up with these type of things, particularly if you're wanting to stay in this home in retirement. Now, a lot of you do-it-yourselfers out there, go do it while you can. But there may come a day where you cannot repair these things. You may not be able to handle the acreage and mowing that each and every week. There are things that may be out of your control that could add additional expenses to that home maintenance category. Be thinking about those as well. This is one that we see more times than not, and it can be one that pulls on the heartstrings, and it's financial assistance for your kids, your family members, even your friends. I'm a father of three. My kids, as of this date, are 7, 9, and 11. And even at that age, where we're helping them with school costs and everything that comes with raising kids, I can tell you down the road, my heart is to help them succeed. And I know it's true with your very own kids. If you need to help your kids, many of you may be right now, you need to build that into your budget. If you're helping friends and family, you need to build that in, because likely the case is when that starts, it could go much longer than you may be planning on. It just happens. Once they ask, once you're able to help, in many cases, it may be additional help in years to come. Now, we all hope we raise our kids and get them off payroll, but today is a different world. It's a different environment. And these type of heartstring expenses can bankrupt a retirement quicker than you think. Now, if you're like me, I want to increase my budget in retirement, and a lot of that may be traveling with myself, my friends, my family. And I'll tell you what, if you want to travel in retirement, obviously budget for it. Let's take it a step further. Budget more for it than you are, because travel expenses are going up. And here's the thing, you may budget $15,000 a year for travel, but what's gonna happen is next year you may spend $25,000, the following year you may spend $7,000. So find a really nice average in there and then put cost of living adjustments on that travel expense over the year. You're likely want to travel for years to come. And this is one that needs to have some flexibility. You need to have flexibility in your budget that if we spend more in travel this year, maybe we don't spend as much in this category this year. It's more of a contingency play. It's not like we don't want you to travel and enjoy your wealth, but it needs to be planned over many years to come. One of the last little known expenses that we think of when we are planning a long-term retirement is dining out. If you're like me, I love eating out every once in a while, and it's not cheap, particularly if you're taking your kids with you. Now, when you retire, there's a lot more time than you used to have in your week, which means you're gonna fill that time with hobbies or things like dining out. We see a lot of retirees like to dine out because they're only cooking for 2 people or 1 individual, not the family anymore. So budget for dining expenses. It's not cheap, and it's got to be able to flux as well, depending on your values. When you think about a successful retirement, you may think about the amount that you've saved. You may think about the rate of return that you can get on that investment. You may think about the amount of guaranteed income you're gonna have coming in through your pension or Social Security. And I'm here to tell you right now, the number one most important number in your plan is your budget. And let's be honest, if you're pre-retired or even newly retired, chances are you're not living on a budget. Let us help you do that. I know, the B word, I know. But a great place to start, and this is something we take every one of our successful families at REAP Financial, is our coordinated retirement budget worksheet. It's a powerful tool, very easy to work through, and it can be a great first step for you and your spouse to get on the same page. Email me right now, retire@reapfinancial.com. Retire@reapfinancial.com, and my team will have this coordinated budget worksheet on its way to your inbox at no cost. Until then, all the best.